Hello, hello, conscious creators, conscious lovers. It's been a little while since I've had a chance to share a live stream with you. So if you're joining, if you happen to be on live now, say hello so I know you're here. Or if you're watching the replay, let me know you are here with me. It's a lot more fun for me that way, and I think it is for you too. So I'm going to be talking about something that I've noticed recently. With the start of the school year, I've been observing parents, observing myself, my own children and teachers, and just noticing how different adults are more or less able to comfort a child in distress. And I'm noticing some really huge gaps in these adults' capacities to really comfort and soothe a child who's crying, who might be missing their mommy or daddy, who might be just upset about separation, about going into a new situation. And I'm hearing a lot of pretty upsetting to me words like, you need to stop crying so that I can help you. Or what was another one? Sort of asking if they're hurt physically, and if not, then that means, then there's no reason to be crying or whining. Or just people outright telling their children, stop whining, I can't take it anymore. And I don't mean to judge. I know for every parent, and myself included, there are times where we yell, where it's just too much. But I started thinking about just all the implications for us here in this group, and for our partners, and for adult relationships. And the same concepts really hold true. So we know from the Gottman research that up to 69%, that's almost 70%, of conflicts and upsets in marriages, tell me if this resonates for you, are actually really attributable to problems that have no clear solutions, where there's no accepted standard of what's right or wrong, where these conflicts are born from differences in personality, in temperament, in priorities, in values, things like that. So because you are a nuanced human being and your relationship is complex, most of the issues that will come up for you and your partner really probably don't have clear-cut solutions. So why am I saying this? I'm saying this because there's a lot of room for inevitable upset and disappointment to creep up, right? And it always does. And what matters most is how we comfort each other when we're in distress, which brings me back to my original little story about these preschoolers and first graders that I've been watching. It's not really about making the problem better. I mean, to some degree it might be eventually, but what usually is upsetting in the moment is that our partner or our parent or whoever is there to take care of us might be missing our hurt, our distress, or might be dismissing it, actively dismissing it, or just missing it because they're not attuned or preoccupied, or maybe they're even very well-meaning but they don't have the skills, or it scares them. And I think that happens a lot for couples. So tell me if any of these scenarios resonate for you. I want you to first think about what it's like for you when your partner is in distress, when they're upset about something. It might be with you or about something else in their life that has been disappointing or difficult or anxiety-provoking. And I want you to think about what your reaction tends to be. Are you able to hold space for your partner just to be with his or her feelings? Just to hold and create that space for them to feel their feelings, to have big feelings, and to know that that might be their initial reaction to something that they still just need to digest and process, rather than jumping to conclusions or criticizing them. I have a lot of couples where one member or both kind of criticize each other. It might sound something like, you're always so whiny, nothing's ever good enough for you, stop being so negative. What else? You're so needy, you're so dramatic, those kinds of things. And as you might imagine, those reactions don't usually lead to more connection or emotional safety. And while the person saying them might genuinely be upset too or triggered, usually it doesn't help them. It doesn't help the other person move beyond what's upsetting them or feel more connected to their partner, right? So instead, I really want you to consider your specific partner, what you know about him or her, what's comforting and soothing to them. Is it similar to what comforts you, or maybe it's different? You have different love languages. Many of you are familiar with that book. For some people, words of affirmation are very comforting, or touch, just a hug, or having some space, knowing that they get to have big feelings and they get to have some space, be alone maybe, without you feeling abandoned, right? That might be something that your partner needs. Or maybe it's, maybe your partner really wants you to stay close, doesn't want to be left alone. You need to know your own partner and kind of get to be an expert about your partner and what's soothing to them and what's comforting to them in different situations. And it might be different in different situations. And if you don't know, the biggest thing that you can do is not assume that you know, and just be there and ask, what are you needing right now, honey? What would make you feel better? Is there anything that would make you feel better? Do you want me to try to help you? Or do you want to just sit with this for a while? Tell me what you say, or what you would actually like your partner to say to you, so that can give us some ideas. And then think about what your partner has told you has been helpful to them in the past, or just what you know about them, their personality, their temperament, their style, whether they're someone who allows themselves to get upset, or whether they're someone who feels like they need to get over it quickly, or they don't want to be a burden. We can't generalize, right? Because there's so many possibilities. But the biggest thing that you can do and be consistent about is just being there, not being intrusive, not imposing yourself, but being available, being calm, being available, and trusting that even if your partner is angry with you, which is, I think that's the hardest one, that it's temporary and that it can be worked through, and you don't have to get defensive and you don't have to fix it. You don't have to help your partner get over it. I do have sometimes couples who say, where one partner will say, I'm worried that if I agree with him that something really sucks, that basically I'll be fueling that fire and I'll never hear the end of it. Like there won't be an end to the complaints, or he's just such a victim all the time, or vice versa. Tell me if you can relate to that, if anyone's ever said that to you and how that's felt. It just usually makes it worse for the person who's already upset and scared or sad about something. When we're told you need to get over it or stop crying or stop whining, it just it compounds the original hurt or the original thing that's upsetting us in the first place. And then we feel like, now not only am I upset, but I'm upset and I'm alone, which I think is probably one of the most devastating feelings we can have as a human being, is feeling alone in a time of distress. So I wanted to share that with you and see what ideas you have about what you might be able to experiment with or try, or what's already working for you in your relationship. How are you similar or different to your partner when you're upset, when one of you is upset? What do each of you need or want or yearn for when you're upset? And are those different, or are they similar? And there's no right or wrong. Every person gets to have their, what they need in order to feel soothed and reassured and comforted. And it probably also depends what they're upset about. But the most important thing, again, I can't say this enough, is just leaving room for your partner, the person you love, to have their full range of feelings as a human being, and not to stifle them. Because, many people have already had adults in their lives when they were growing up stifle their feelings, and the last thing they need is for you to judge what they're feeling, or to misperceive them in a moment where they might be feeling really vulnerable or scared about something. Okay, I hope that was helpful. Let me know if you'd like us to develop this a little bit more, if you have any specific questions or any challenges that come up for you around holding space, holding emotional space for your partner when your partner is upset. And I'm happy to do another Facebook Live or have a conversation in our group about it. I also wanted to welcome all of our new members. Please jump in and support each other when someone introduces themselves. I really, really want us to continue to be welcoming and to make this a safe community that really, where people feel able and are encouraged to share and to support each other. And also wanted to send our love on behalf of everyone here to any of you who've been impacted by any of the storms or the hurricanes or the different natural disasters around the world recently. Please let us know that you're okay. Please let us know if there's anything that you need and how we can support you. Okay, thinking about all of you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.